Welcome to the San Clemente Podcast, the only local podcast in the best beach town in the world. We're here to bring you weekly episodes highlighting everything from sports, culture, entertainment, politics, and everything else this beach town has to offer. Welcome back to the number one podcast in the best beach town in the world. I'm Jeff Moore. Joining me today is my incredible co-host and partner, Brian De La Puente. We have a very, very exciting guest joining us today. Sarah Schneider. She is running for city council here in the best beach town in the world. And we have a ton of questions. We have a ton of great topics we're going to cover. And we are very, very excited to interview her, hear more about her story and why she's ultimately decided to run for city council. So with that said, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. So great to be here. This is really exciting and can't wait to share some of who I am.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's start off. Tell us a little bit about you and kind of
Sure.
why you've decided to put your name in the hat for city council.
Very good question. So let's see. I married, mother of 5 kids. We've lived in the community for 10 years. When we first got here, I said to my husband, you know what? Wheel me out like feet first. This is such a special place. It's amazing. I couldn't believe the community. We had been living in Seattle before that for a few years, and my husband got a job down here. We wanted to come back to California. We're originally from Northern California, and a friend of ours that my husband played water polo with in college, a guy named Dan Hancock, called him up. I don't know if you know him. So my husband called him up and said, you know, we're going to move to Orange County. We've got 5 little kids. My baby Logan was still really young at the time. And where should we live? Should we live in Dana Point? Should we live in Ladera? Like, where's a good place to live? Because Dan's been all over in Orange County. He's like, I need to tell you something, Frank. There's this little place. It's called Southwest San Clemente. You have to know about it. It's the greatest place in Orange County, if not the country. And we were in Seattle, and we had a huge house and big property. I mean, property's way less expensive up there. And we're looking at a map, and we're like, okay, where's Southwest San Clemente? We start looking at the map closer. Wow, okay, it's about 10 streets. Every house is $2 million. Great, thanks for that tip.
See you later.
Yeah. Maybe out of our price point a little bit,
anyway,
but
so,
appreciate
So we did. So we came down here and we couldn't believe it. We were like, wow, sparkling white sand beaches. This is the type of community. It's a little slice of Americana. Kids running around everywhere, older people walking outside, neighbors talking to each other. And what really struck me when we first moved into the town was people don't eat their dinners in their backyards. They sit out front. Like, everybody just sits out front. It's so community oriented. And so we brought our 5 little kids. We got a little tiny rental down at the bottom of Valencia. It was a home that was built in 1950 and hadn't been updated since. And we put 4 kids in one room and the baby in another room. And we haven't left.
Wow.
10 years later.
You just made me fall in love with San Clemente all over again. It
So
really
true.
is.
It's special.
It's so special.
Really what's special about it, and when you have kids, you know this, you know you're home when the community embraces your kids, right? That's step number 1. And we couldn't believe it. I mean, it was from the second we got here. So we knew a few people from Stanford where we both went to college. And they immediately said, okay, you know, come in, like, sign up for these sports teams, come meet other families, and started inviting us. And then people just opened their arms for us. I remember going to a party at Annika's house on Princessa, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is the jackpot of life. Like,
we just won the lotto.
Life.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. I mean, I tell people all the time, we live in the best place in the world.
Best place in the world. You can do anything here. And we're small enough so that you feel like we're a small town, right, and you know everybody. But we're so close to so much. So whatever you want to do, whatever dream you want to chase, you can do it here.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to pay you a compliment. I think in the way I came across you was through an organization that you call it an organization, a group that you had started, and it was called the Southwest San Clemente Alliance. And you had done such an amazing job at organizing everyone for, I think, a lot of causes. Tell us how you started that and why you started that.
Yeah, so this is an interesting story, and it sort of pivots very well into why I am running for city council now. So I've always been really interested in what's going on in my town, read the papers, involved. I've also loved serving in different ways, but all politics is local. So when something happens to you locally on your street and it impacts you, you either kind of complain, you move, or you organize for change. And so we had this really big issue land on our street, and I knew right away that I love this town. I love the people in this town. This isn't right. I want to solve for change, and I want to be an advocate to make this right. And how can I do that? And so I kind of dug deep into who I am. I was a political science major in college, so I had to go back and, brush off my old, government books and think about, how's everything structured and organized, city, county, state levels. But the issue is this. So we had a developer who tore down an old house, a small beach cottage, as we have in Southwest San Clemente, a lot of mixed development with brand new houses and still a lot of the really quaint old beach houses, which are really special. So he tore that down, and it happened to be on 3 lots. So he decided to build brand new, beautiful, modern, aesthetic homes. Big, lovely, like just
Custom.
very high-end
Yep.
custom homes.
Yep.
And put them on the market. And the market's a little funny for high-end homes. It's hit or miss. But so the homes kind of sat. And then over the summer, we started to hear some rumors that potentially drug and alcohol treatment business was going to be moving into the homes. And we were all shocked. Really couldn't believe it. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, so I was like, oh, that sounds like people just talking.
Sure.
That can't actually be true. So we sort of laid it to it, but then we put our feelers like, let's maybe call the realtor and find out and see. And he was sort of playing it down, like this isn't going to happen. So we were all fine. So the summer, we're all right. And then the houses are moving towards closing, and we're all kind of holding our breath. And one of our other neighbors got a text, and it's the text that lit the world, really, which said, by the way, this was the developer who told the neighbor this. By the way, I can tell you now that drug treatment facility has moved in. They're buying not 1, but potentially 2, and maybe all 3 of the homes. And I can tell you who they are and their name. And sorry, this is going to be fine. I've vetted them. They're kind of high-end treatment, but that's it. So once I heard that, the neighbor told me that, I was blown away.
Right.
Like, how is that even possible? That doesn't make any sense. This is a street, so super narrow, first of all, and we have 40 kids. All right. We're all right next to each other. That's a business. Businesses aren't allowed to operate in residential neighborhoods. We're residential. So that was the issue that landed on my street. And when I started to think about how can I problem solve for this, or how can I change this, it was like looking up a huge mountain. Right. It was like Mount Everest, really. This is a big, big problem. So these are, not only are they in Orange County, which they are, a lot of them, but they're all over the country. I mean, there's federal laws and state laws. I mean,
that's a daunting
it was so
project
daunting.
to even try to wrap your
Well,
head
I think
around.
initially, all you're thinking about is your mama bear, right? Like
Mama bear. Like, this can't happen
you're
to my
like,
kids.
no,
This
I
just
got
doesn't
5
work.
kids.
This
There's
does
no
not
chance.
Work. This is a dangerous healthcare operation.
Right.
Yeah, and this totally changes the dynamic of our neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that I was just speaking of, the one that I love, where we sit out front. So yeah, exactly. So what nothing about it was right, and I knew I needed to change it. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to grassroots organize. I need people. We need to all organize, because we're dead in the water if we're just individuals trying to solve this. The only way we can do it is through community.
Right.
And so that's what sparked me. And so we started, I started sending texts to my friends, and cell phones make it really easy to communicate with people. So the first thing we did was we held a community meeting. We also leafleted the whole neighborhood. We let people know, like, show up at my front door. We got to talk about this. Like, let's organize. Let's figure this out. So that's what started the Southwest San Clemente Alliance. We started really small, just like on a text group, and we realized, okay, we're getting bigger than the text group. So then we moved over to WhatsApp. And that started blowing up. And then people were like, you need to be careful. Like, there's a lot of bad actors, a lot of danger in this industry, frankly. And there's a lot of people who you can get exposed. I mean, you legally and otherwise, if you make the wrong move. And so they said, you need to be very careful. So then we moved over to, we decided to do a newsletter platform on a secure website. So that way we kept people's contact information. It was all, and community organizing is all about how you figure out how to communicate to people.
Right.
You have to be able to get to people. So you need email addresses, you need cell phone numbers, you need a way to spread your message of what you want people to do.
Right.
And I knew that was going to include like a multi-pronged thing. It was going to have to be showing up at meetings. It was going to have to be emailing people. It was a lot of different stuff we needed to do. Yeah.
That's incredible. That really is. That is absolutely fascinating. What do you call it? You
leafleting.
Call it that.
Leafleting.
I've never heard that term, but I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
Okay,
so you're out knocking on doors, you're out dropping.
Right. Exactly. You make flyer. Actually, yeah. My team of graphic designers, we got together. We're like, how do we spread this message about what's going on? So we came up with a flyer, the old-fashioned way. We printed it, and then we got a little team. I got a little team of walkers who wanted to volunteer. So it's a bunch of grassroots people who want to volunteer and help. But it's interesting in problem solving. Most people want to help, right?
Right.
They just don't know how. Like
100%.
Yeah. And so I think that's where I came in with the Alliance concept is if I can lead people to do something that would be effective, they'll want to do it.
Right.
Like everybody's on board. This is an easy issue. Like this is about as nonpartisan as it gets. Like, let's solve this. This isn't right.
It's amazing as you're describing this. You could have done anything. It's the most selfless thing, really, right? What you just described and how you started it and organized it. You could have done that with any business. That's how you get a group of people. But what's amazing is the people are passionate behind it, right? Because their purpose is so much bigger.
It is so true. I mean, and the thing of it is, you really have to have time. So. And then as I was looking around, we were kind of looking around. Nobody wanted this to happen, but everybody's busy. They have jobs. They're taking care of their kids. They have obligations. Nobody really has the time. And so it was a huge sacrifice I made. I mean, I have 5 kids myself. I'm busy. I was working, but I had to want it more.
Sure.
Like and then what I told the neighbors on that first day, I was like, if I don't care about this issue, nobody will. So I cared. And I think that, we've come a long ways in the meantime. And so the Alliance formed with this idea that Southwest, like we are Southwest, we've never organized before. I mean, you have your podcast at San Clemente, but Southwest is really a special place. It's a unique place. It's sometimes an overlooked place from, at the city level. But anyway, so we've used that vehicle for solving some other problems that we saw along the way, and I realized, wow, we can do a lot together when we're united. And
were you surprised about the amount of support you had?
Yes, I've been surprised every single day through this. This has been a mind-blowing experience. Every single day, what I've learned, the people that I've met, the support I've gotten. Yeah. Yes, but I in some ways, like I know, like I'm pretty even tempered. Not a lot bothers me. So, there's pickleball down in the canyon on my street. I don't care.
Right.
I'm not ruffled by much. When you have 5 kids, you don't get ruffled.
Sure, you have to.
But you haven't sat on the dais of city council. Right.
Oh
I mean,
right. But this ruffled me.
Yes.
Drug and alcohol treatment, 3 of them.
Yes.
That's
that's not one and
yes. This ruffled me.
Yeah.
And I knew if it ruffled me, other people would feel the same way. It was an easy sell.
Yes.
So it started as that focus effort.
Right.
Now that it's kind of matured a little bit, has other issues came into the scope of the Alliance?
Yeah. So, scaling it up is always challenging, like any business. it takes time and effort. And we're not making money.
Right.
We're solving problems.
Yeah.
But we have been invested in some other issues. As you open one can of worms in government, you can easily open a few other cans of worms. And so quickly after the Alliance formed and we were problem solving for drug and alcohol treatment facilities, it came to pass that the city was moving to district elections for the first time ever. And a lot of people in San Clemente have no clue what this is even about, or that it even happened.
Right.
But once I learned that we were moving to district elections, started engaging on the issue and what the maps were going to look like, how we're going to district, which is, by the way, another very contentious issue across the country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gerrymandering, all of it. People are very heated about it, but district maps matter. They matter because as I was organizing my Southwest San Clemente Alliance for an issue that mattered to our neighborhood, I knew representation matters. Who you talk to, you need to have somebody to represent your interests. And the first step in our process was, of course, involving our city and reaching out to the stakeholders in the city and the city council and things like that. So I knew that when we thought about how we districted ourselves, we needed to make sure that Southwest stayed together and other neighborhoods. So when I started to take a look at the laws and the legal requirements for that and kind of how the district map was coming together, I realized we needed to make sure we got a map that worked.
Right.
So that was the second issue we got into.
Can you put it into layman's terms for me? Like there was two different maps that kind of came down to, and it was cutting Southwest was it the pier? Can you talk on that for me?
Sure. So you can slice up San Clemente any way you want, really. And they had a public process, and they, had a lot. The nice thing about city government is it's very democratic. So it's just not a lot of people know to go to the meetings or get involved, but it is very democratic. You can go, you can speak up. So they had kind of worked along these maps. And then when I started paying attention, there were two maps in play. It was map 111 and map 120 were both up for a vote. Well, it's kind of complicated, but anyway, they were both up. Map 111 was the map that ended up sneaking past in a vote, and it was a problematic map. It just wasn't good. It split Southwest San Clemente in half, and it split Southwest San Clemente on my street.
Ooh.
Like literally one side or the other?
The canyon behind me. So my neighbors on the other side of my canyon, who I can hear their dinner conversations at night.
Separate district.
Different district. Different person representing them. Different yard signs. All of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like common sense.
So here you have like a woman on the move. Like I'm already fired up.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I know how to email people. I know how to call people. I know, this is my game. Like,
yeah, you're roaring and ready to go.
I'm roaring, ready to go. And you're telling me you're going to split my district. No.
No way, no how.
No way, no how. So we rallied. So luckily I have a way. I think people gravitate towards the way that I communicate and message, and it's the residents, the people. They all rallied whenever I called them to. They all rallied.
And by the way, this is all happening prior to you deciding to run for city council, correct? Like
way
this is
before.
all way
this
before.
Was back in the fall. This was early stage.
Yeah, so this isn't even on your radar yet, right? You're just strictly your own community.
So
you're
true.
Trying to protect and trying to promote and take care of.
And Jeff, the city council wasn't on my radar. I never, ever thought when we first moved here, any time in my life really, that I would run for city council. I always appreciated city council, but I never thought I would run. And it was really only recently after I have developed all these skills, and now we have this district that we fought for and won, by the way. So we ended up getting the map 120, that worked for us. And that took a couple more battles along the way, but that's a story for another time. But anyway, Southwest and Southeast are District 4. So San Clemente is going to vote biannually for city council representatives. It used to be, so we have 5 total, and it used to be at large. So anybody could live anywhere And then whoever was up for election, sometimes it's 2 at a time or 3 at a time. Then it would be, of the 15 people that are in the race, the top 2 would get the spot. So everybody's familiar with that. And then they would decide who's mayor and who's mayor pro tem. And that was always a little interesting.
And that was just, right, majority, right? You get of the 5 members, right? You get 3 votes.
Correct. Right. Exactly. So we still have 5 city council people, but in districting, they decided to move to 4 districts, and then we are going to, as a town, elect our mayor. Cool. So yeah, so it's kind of cool. So every 2 years.
And the mayor can come from anywhere. The districts?
Yeah. But you have to choose to run for mayor. So It's kind of high stakes. Okay. Right? You can't just run in your district and then also run for mayor.
Ooh, yeah. So you have to make that decision.
You have to make that decision.
Prior to running.
Correct. Yes. So how it's going to be, we're kind of the burnt pancakes, to be honest, of this whole new system. So right now it's District 4, which is Southwest and Southeast, and District 3, which is North Beach and a little bit east of that. So it's kind of the districts are essentially north and south beach side and north and south inland side. If you look at the Pico and the freeway,
kind of these are the districts that are up.
So the 2 coastal districts are up for election in 2024.
Yep.
The 2 inland districts will be up for election in 2026.
Gotcha.
The mayor's up for election in 2026.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's different. And the thing that people don't realize, and it's in some ways we could really love this, right? Because you now have somebody who's really invested in your area, where you live, you potentially know, but it can be challenging if you don't have anybody involved that can do the job, that lives in your area. I think we'll be fine. I think there'll be enough people. So far, so good. So anyway, so District 4 exists, and there are no incumbent city council members that live in District 4. So once I realized that, and kind of this was late springtime, and I had made a lot of progress on the issue on my street, a lot. I thought, wow, this is a really interesting opportunity. I love this. I love working with people. I love helping my town. I'm in a position right now in my life where I have the time to do it. It's very time consuming. Why don't I try? I might as well see if I can represent people at the city level and build on all the knowledge that I've gained through all the housing laws and drug and alcohol treatment laws and Department of Healthcare Services and county and all the relationships I've made with our local legislators, and build on that to try and make sure San Clemente stays amazing.
That's great. I love it.
It really is. People don't realize how important politics are, right? And it affects everyone, whether you like it or not.
It does.
It affects your businesses. It affects your, way of life. It affects everything.
Laws matter.
Laws matter. Absolutely. As you've seen, right? You've been able to act quickly and make changes very fast.
That's the coolest part, is that you were able to, your hard work didn't fall on deaf ears. Change happened.
Right. It did. Yes.
For logic, right? The maps thing makes sense.
Right.
It's just the stuff makes sense.
Right.
And
we've been slowly moving into sand as well. And that's another, really important topic, and especially for Southwest.
Yeah.
But obviously our whole town, and problem solving on that is complicated.
What are some of the ideas on that? I know that they did a big project from the pier to T Street.
Right. So that's been in the works for a long time. That took 20 years to get done, by the way. That's how slow government moves. So the other thing people don't realize is it's really hard to affect change in government. It's a big behemoth, and you have partisanship, and you have all, it's not common sense, right? You have to know who to influence. There's lobbyists that you have to deal with. I mean,
it's a wild game.
It's a wild game. It's a wild game. But sand is another one. You have the Coastal Commission, you have the Army Corps of Engineers, you have permitting, you have money. Sand is very, very expensive. You have coastal. So the thing with coastal erosion, we've known that coastal erosion's been happening for a long time. but it's like watching paint dry. Sometimes it's hard to see, like, was the beach wider last year?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And depending on the swells that come in and go, like, it's just.
Yeah, but I mean, as we all know, the last probably 3 years, the storms have been really severe. Ever since the drought ended.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, we started to get these really wicked rainstorms, which caused so much cliffs instability. We've had the landslides, and then our beaches got washed away. And the big issue that's going on right now, which you guys may or may not be aware of, is Orange County Transportation Authority, OCTA, is looking to revet more tracks. Yeah. So that
when you say revet, like reroute
rocks.
or gotcha.
Add more rocks. So one of the big devastations,
like to add more track along the beach, not more
rail line,
but
more rocks,
boulder, like the big boulders,
just to bolster it and support
because of coastal erosion,
stability.
So the water's getting too close to the lines. So part of what happened was it 3 years ago. So I'm not the subject. So Save Our Beaches and Bring Back Our Beaches are the subject matter experts on this.
Yeah.
But so I'm just relaying, what they know. But they came in and revetted the tracks in Cyprus. And that's what did in the beach. So the beach has completely collapsed in that whole area.
And of course they did. They don't care about the beaches, right? Is that fair to say? Like, and
it's
maybe
not their thing.
That's not their thing.
It's not their thing. Their thing is train. They want to keep
the tracks.
By the way,
the transportation,
they're the transportation authority.
Yeah, they're like, your beach, your problem.
So that's exactly right. They're like, that's your problem, city, for not figuring this out. You knew the sand was coming in.
Yeah, you did.
And now, so we're at this kind of point. Yeah, and so once it's really unfortunate. So obviously, we'd all love for the train to be inland.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be great? We would love that.
It would be awesome.
Amazing, but it's not.
No, it's not.
Just not.
It's just too big of a project, too much money.
And it's a 30-year.
And it's a 30. Yeah, it's probably a 30-year project.
Okay, start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, start digging.
Yeah.
You have to go under the I-5.
Yeah. If you can predict it, you can prevent it.
You can prevent it.
That's what Brad said.
Hey, come on, that's my line now.
Oh, you taking it?
That's a good line. Predict it,
right?
prevent.
Yeah. If you
so
can
move the train inland, but at the same time, we got to get more sand.
Yeah, we
sand on the beaches.
Growing up down at Northgate, you could walk and surf at Cottons. You can't do that anymore.
No, I know. So when we first moved here, I first signed my kids up for state lifeguard. And we used to drop off and pick up at State Beach, up at the top there, like by the campgrounds. And then they would walk the trail and go south.
Yeah.
And they would camp there. They would have the volleyball courts. And that's where they had the whole state lifeguard program. It was all a ton of sand. There's no more beach.
Ton of beach.
It's all gone.
Those waves haven't broken years.
They haven't broken.
No, and it was
State Park, Riviera, and Lost Ones.
So when they revet the train tracks, so when they add those rocks to keep their train dry, so it's a cycle against the sand. So the waves come with a stronger force up against the rocks, and it makes the sand wash away even quicker. Yeah.
Gosh, that's scary.
It's so scary.
It really is.
It's really scary. You can't. It's just not okay. Losing our beaches won't work.
It's just not okay.
Yeah.
And again, if we all sit back and do nothing about it, we know what's going to happen.
So what is happening? What can we do?
So OCTA, OCTA has to keep their train line running.
Right.
Okay. So they are in the process of revetting more track, and they're going to need to revet the beach, State Beach, basically, which I don't know if you've seen that recently, but it's really, really small. There's not a lot of sand there. So our community organizations, led by the amazing people at Save Our Beaches and Bring Back Our Beaches, and our city right now is doing great stuff.
Yeah,
on
they
this.
stepped
Amazing.
up. They brought in
our
all
mayor,
this stuff. Yeah,
our city manager is fantastic.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
So we're kind of trying. We use this tactic of, okay, OCTA, if you're going to do this, if you're going to put rocks on the beach, why not just bring a bunch of sand? It's a natural way to keep the water away from it's a win-win for everybody. Like, instead of bring rocks, just bring a bunch of sand. It'll cost less, by the way, because
who does that burden fall on? The city paid for all the sand.
So the sand that's already come, that's already been paid for line. That's different grant money and federal and state money. But the sand, there's no extra money for sand right now. That's the big problem.
Gotcha.
There's no extra money for sand, and so we were trying to use OCTA as well. If you're gonna spend, they were gonna spend $200 million on rock revetment in San Clemente.
Yeah, Put
that sand.
Absolutely.
But as you said, they're not in the business of replenishing
They don't
beaches.
care. They just want.
So they have been very amenable. Octa. So we've, they're a partner. We got to treat them like a partner.
Yeah.
You got to work with people, right?
Yep. You got to
That's how
find
we-
out who's
we find
influential
out,
within that
right?
organization and
Make
go
it
make.
successful for
Yep.
everybody. We
Yep.
know you're not, so we've been the city's been having those conversations. I've been involved I've been at a few of these meetings and spoke. You could check it out on my Instagram. They've heard us. They've heard the community. They've been willing to listen, and they hear that sand is a great way to go. So I think we are going to get some sand from them. So we'll see, but it's still very tenuous.
Yep. It's such an exciting time, both to live in San Clemente and to be a part of San Clemente. You have so much going on,
So
right?
much
As we've
going
talked about districting, right? We've talked about sand. We've talked about like
So
there's
true.
all these things happening,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
There's amazing new projects on the horizon.
Oh, yeah.
So many awesome things
Our
happening.
downtown
Our
is starting to
downtown
come
is starting to
back.
flourish. And
South El Camino, by
Yep.
the way, which you're helping a lot.
Yep.
I love your building.
Yep,
It's amazing.
absolutely. So many awesome things, so many amazing projects, new restaurants coming to San Clemente.
Right.
There's just, there's just a lot of amazing things happening.
I agree. Yeah. So, my decision to kind of get into this race was really, it's just really simple. I love this town so much, and I felt like I could help, and I felt like I had the time to help. And my concerns are, let's keep our neighborhoods safe. Let's keep our neighborhoods a safe, thriving place for families. And then, let's get sand on our beaches.
Yep.
So
How do you balance responsible growth with not overdeveloping?
that's a really tricky one. And that is what city government is all about mostly. The Planning Commission is one of the most important commissions in our town, any town really, and for a coastal town like ours that's fully built out, responsible development is critical. We pride ourselves on being small, right?
Yeah.
But we don't want to get worn out, and we don't want to get kind of gross and grungy. Like, you have to keep infusing, nice new places. But the goal is, I think, with every city is striking that balance. So you have to have a democratic process where you listen to people, hear people. You have to be connected to what people want, what they're interested in, and pick developers. Picking developers is a big part of it, and hoping that they strike that balance that works with the community. I mean, we are Ole Hansen, we're Spanish Village by the Sea. We're not Dana Point.
No, we're not.
Right?
You're right. You just hit the nail on the head. You have to select and work with the right developers. You bring the wrong people in that are in it for solely
Wrong
the money
reasons.
and the bottom, then
Which most people
are, which again, I'm
It's
like,
true.
I kind of get it. It's
Yeah.
business. It's their money. But at the end of the day, you can't be.
It is a tricky
You have to
balance, so.
truly love the city and the
Yeah.
area that you're developing in.
Yes, and
You
you have
cannot-
to know it.
And you have to
really
know it. You have to
Yeah.
understand it.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So staying engaged with developers and having, communications. And that's another reason why I got into this race, is I felt that being a representative of the city is really important. So, how people from the outside look at San Clemente, who are their leaders? What are their leaders speaking about? What are they talking about? What's their vibe? Like, is this a place that's welcoming and warm and fun, or is everybody angry?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
So that was another thing I felt I could help with. I could be an asset. I love it here. I love all my neighbors. I love San Clemente. It's given me so much, and I want everybody to know that.
Yep, absolutely.
I know we talked a lot about the politics and stuff. I'm intrigued with your story. You've got your kids are all successful. Can you talk like
Trying.
like
We're a work in progress.
You've got
right?
one at Harvard, one going to Stanford. You and your husband both went to Stanford. I went to Cal, so I'm supposed to
Did you
not
ever
like.
have
A little bit of a
axe?
Oh,
rivalry.
we kept the axe the whole time.
You kept the axe, though.
Yes.
Stanford football's not that good.
Yes, when I was there, we were pretty darn good. But we both have young kids. What's the secret? Like what? Like
I
what
hear
is?
that. Less is more. I'm a really old school parent. Like I liked my childhood. I was blessed and fortunate to have a really kind home and opportunities and things like that. And I liked my childhood, and I didn't really want to do anything differently. I rode my bike to school. I wasn't overprogrammed. My parents kind of let me do my thing, but they always said, like, get good grades.
Sure.
So I just kind of repeated the formula, and it's worked. We let our kids ride their bikes to school. We don't overprogram them. So I don't know. It's hard to say with kids. You never know what you're going to get, but this town makes it really easy to parent. Sure. I'll just tell you that much. I mean, when we moved here, the community helped me parent my kids. So my kids all rode their bikes to Concordia, every single one of them, and I made them do it every day. Yeah. And it's interesting how culture changes. When we first moved here 10 years ago, everybody rode their bikes. Yeah. But by the time Logan, my youngest, got through, he was one of the few bikers. And there was probably a handful of bikes, and most of them were e-bikes. He was the only old-fashioned kind of a bike.
They still had to pedal.
The appreciation.
Still had to pedal.
He still had to pedal his bike.
Yeah, exactly. And so, by the way, but with that, you have to be willing to, if you parent that way, most people drop their kids off from school because they want them to be safe. Yeah. Right. You hear our generation is really concerned with the safety of our kids. Of course, I want safe. But for me, I thought the responsibility of learning how to bike, how to navigate the neighborhood, how to make choices. So my kids, oftentimes their bikes would break down. They would fall off their bikes. Things like that would happen. And they knew, how to talk to somebody, to call mom, or, people would put their bikes in the back of the car, drive them home.
Sure.
Yeah. You're helping them build life skills that way.
Yes.
Before I forget, talk to us about your slogan, it being a grassroots campaign.
Grassroots campaign. So when I got in this was not about politics for me at all. This was about problem solving. This was about loving my community. This was about enjoying problem solving and having the skills to do it. And so I knew that I needed to do this the grassroots way. So if I was going to serve people in the community, I need to serve everybody. So we really are, my campaign is my friends and the Southwest San Clemente Alliance people who are interested. And it's just really spreading the message the old-fashioned way of just getting people engaged. So we're about yard signs. We're about going door to door. We're about talking about issues. And if you like me, vote for me.
I love it. That's amazing. Do you have any events coming up that people can support?
Yeah, so it's kind of early season still in the summer, and I'm spending a lot of time just attending meetings, getting briefed on issues, meeting with stakeholders, things like that. I'm trying to think if I have any events coming up. I don't think I have any formal events. Oh, well, I will be out and about on 4th of July.
Oh, yeah. And that's a fun event. Absolutely.
But yeah.
And it's so important, would you agree, for people just to even attend city council meetings?
Yeah, it is important. They're not easy to attend, to be honest. They're kind of arduous and long, so you can understand why people don't have the time. But for sure, reading the San Clemente Times. So we have some great reporting from the San Clemente Times, and they do a good job of keeping track of what's going on. So I would say start with reading the San Clemente Times and getting familiar with some of the issues, because Jaden will report on everything. He reported on the district map over and over in the San Clemente Times.
You hear a lot of people saying, they don't know how to get involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is tricky, but that's a good
start reading there. Start listening to your podcast. That would be step 2. And then come to the city council meeting, see how it works. It's complicated. It's tricky. Yeah. There's not, it's easy to say, oh, why'd they make that decision? That's a terrible decision. Yep. But in the moment when there's 40 neighbors on one side and 40 neighbors on the other side, and you're weighing and balancing, it's a little bit like being a judge at the city council. You have to be willing to hear both sides and just, but I think understanding the issues is really, really important. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm really trying to understand each one of the issues as deeply as I can. So that way I feel competent when it comes time to be up there.
San Clemente is a passionate town. When they support a project, like, they get behind you fully, right? If they're against it,
both sides,
they get against it.
Yes, it's so true. Yeah, it's very true. It's great like that, though. But that's democracy, right?
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's really refreshing. And when I had this issue land on my street and I started to get engaged at the local level, I'm like, wow, I am living out, like, I don't care about any of this federal stuff. This doesn't, like, that's just, like, out there.
Yes.
This is real. These are people really doing things, really talking, really engaged about what laws are good, what laws aren't good, and what can we do to make it right.
Yeah. Right. You said something earlier, too, in politics, right? takes a long time to get anything done. But with city politics, I feel like, again, right, you are able to act relatively quickly,
Pretty quickly.
right? You can bring it back to the city council fast. You can get things done relatively quickly.
It's really true. And a lot of people don't realize that when they don't even know actually that you can reach out to a city council member, that you can speak with the community development director, Adam, when you have an issue, or the code compliance person, or they just don't even know where to go with an issue. So they just kind of live with it or whatever. But, and that's why districting actually might be helpful. If you know your representative from your district and you have an issue, you know, you can email them.
Right.
And that's their job, is to get back to you. They might not be able to help you right away, but at least they can get back to you to hear what it is and start the process of problem solving. Yeah.
Point you in the right direction.
Point you in the right direction. Yeah.
How's the homelessness in San Clemente right now?
So the homelessness is definitely better, as you know, you all, I'm sure, feel as well. It is a very difficult situation, but I feel like we're getting closer and closer. So the city, so the city did a very good thing in hiring homeless outreach coordinators. That was a game changer for our town, because the homeless situation is complicated, and you have people who, you know, you can easily help and maybe pair with a service, but then you have people who you can't easily help, who aren't interested in having a service. And you know, having a homeless shelter in our town is not a good fit for us. We're just small coastal town. You know, it's really a county issue. I mean, homeless people are sort of coming and going, and you really need to make sure that you figure out ways to help these people. I mean, these are people that need help.
Which people want to do, right?
Totally.
I think the community isn't trying to turn their backs on these people. Like,
not.
they want to help,
right?
but there's a way to go about doing it.
About doing that. So I've been super impressed with the homeless outreach coordinators. They are two amazing people doing great work. Every single day, it's their job to go around to people that are homeless and try to find the thing that will get them to the right service, to break it down. And as you know, we're kind of to the point. So I know the numbers have gone way down. They just did another homeless count recently. The homeless count actually came out a little higher than what the outreach coordinators did. They sort of feel that we have about 30 homeless people, which is really way down from where it was 2, 3, 4 years ago. So we have struck a balance that works, but it's going to be a matter of just kind of finishing it up. And I think, you know, the Supreme Court, when they come down, probably if they come down on Boise's side, you know, ending encampments is a really big breakthrough. So, and then just making sure that we have effective solutions. And one of the things I've seen, and as I've been diving into the addiction healthcare issue from my street, which, by the way, these for-profit businesses in residential neighborhoods are not helping homeless people.
No.
Who have addiction problems.
No.
So as I've been diving into that, I've seen one of the things that I think is kind of missing in the homeless, with the mentally severe cases of mental illness and people who are really unable to care for themselves for years, and nobody else wants to care for them either, is we don't have mental health clinics or hospitals anymore. Those were shut down decades ago, and it would be helpful if the state had a few, or the county had one or two that could be long-term.
Sure.
So shelters are short-term, right? And for people with severe mental health issues and are in this cycle of kind of going in and out and still can't take care of themselves, they're going to need some long-term mental health care.
Yeah.
A very tricky lane to navigate.
It's a tricky lane.
It
to
is.
Navigate.
It's very
another one. It's a big one. But pairing people with services has been working really well. They've done a great job at it. They know how to, like, they'll find out what is the obstacle for why is this person here. Is it that you can't take your dog somewhere? Well, let's get this dog let's get them qualified as a service dog so we can move them out. And so they do a very good job. So supporting that is a really big deal. But, you know, we have to make sure that our neighborhoods are safe, and you know, the homeless encampments it's a public health issue. It's
Are we safe right now in San Clemente? Like, it is a safe community. I think so. People can rest assured knowing that their community is a safe place.
I think so. Yes. I think that, you know, in Southwest, especially, because we struggle with, you know, the little break-ins here and there, and things like that. But for the most part, I mean, I feel safe here. Wouldn't have felt safe if businesses were operating, but luckily they're not. Yep. So the homes are being sold again and are going to be sold to families. But for the most part, I think we're relatively safe. But it's an ongoing. You got to keep at it, right? Public safety is the number one issue. Really, if people don't feel safe where they live, they cannot thrive. Right. They won't want their families to live. They won't want their kids to live. We won't bring in new people. So it's an ongoing issue. You got to stay at it.
It's a constant effort.
It's a constant effort.
What did Brad the other day said? It's like watering a plant.
It's like watering a plant. And you got to keep looking at your laws. Like, can we make laws better for the police? Like, our police force is just doing the best they can, but we got to have the right laws to help them out. So. Sure. So, yeah. So to answer your question, yeah, it's a safe place, but we got to keep at it.
Yeah. Growing up, both Brian and I grew up here in San Clemente, and I think we had our own police services back then.
Yes, you did.
Right. And so the police officers lived here. This was their community as well. The chief of police was in the community. So it is different now.
It is different, yeah,
and it's expensive too, right? How can you be a police officer and live? It's tough.
Can you live in the town that you work?
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah. You see both sides. The Orange County Sheriff's Department does a great job. They have access to all kinds of helicopters and really quick services. And so a San Clemente police force, you might trade out some of that, but the benefit would be get people who really know the town and care about the town. So
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'm sure you'll continue to update us, and for anyone that wants to follow you, I've got it written down here on Instagram. It's at Schneider 4 Council, and then for a website, I've got www.schneider4 spelled out FOUR Council 2024.com. So Schneider4Council2024.com. Did I get that right, boss? No?
F-O-R.
Schneider4 F-O-R. Schneider4 Council 2024.com.
That's it.
Nailed it. So there you go, right? And again, Instagram, it's Schneider 4 Council.
Yes, do follow on Instagram. You can stay updated. I'll keep that updated as to where I'll be out and about this summer. I'm just trying to attend as many community events as I can. This is the best part of the job.
And you've got a great team of people helping you.
Amazing.
Right? Can we shout out a couple names here?
Oh, Adrian Metz and Annika Lawrence, my campaign managers, who are unbelievably gifted and brilliant in what they do. They're the brains behind.
Something tells me that Adrian doesn't love the spotlight, but we're gonna get her on the podcast.
That would be amazing. Adrian has a very cool story to tell too.
Oh, there we go. Absolutely.
It turns out, Jeff, everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story, and everybody should share their story, right? Because you never know if you're gonna impact someone's life. You never know. Your testimony could be very impactful to, even if it's just one person, right? You could help change that person's life.
Changing lives.
Changing lives. Unbelievable.
Sounds good to me.
Sarah, nice meeting you, and thanks for hanging out with us and letting us get to know you. We appreciate it. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening in. Join us for another episode next week, coming to you from our studio on Del Mar in downtown San Clemente. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at the San Clemente Podcast and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss an episode.